the fuck?
Hello, this is Kev, and this is Black Men Being Brutally Honest. And yeah, I had to speak on this because it was like, what a weird headline. Okay, so you may not recognize the white woman on the screen. That's Molly Shannon, but I'm certain that you recognize Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman, of course, is the actor that's famous for the hit television series in the '80s, Different Strokes. And I'm actually old enough to remember how that show went. And this right here is sort of kind of weird because it really shows me that you, whatever you do in your life, you cannot escape the clutches of allegations and Me Too. And just so let's get into it. Before we get into it, if you are new to this channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and possibly share the video. But yes, Molly Shannon has alleged in doing an interview with Howard Stern that she was sexually harassed and assaulted by Gary Coleman. So black men, and that's where my concern is. Black men, just kind of keep your nose clean because you can't even die without being accused of something. So okay, so let me go ahead and let you listen to this interview, and I'll let you know what I think afterwards. Because the way she told this, it sounded like a Saturday Night Live sketch. It was just so crazy. But here we go. And yes, fair use. Fair use is displayed twice on the screen, and I am saying it. Fair use on this audio. So here we go.
Agent, and you're excited because you had Gary Coleman's agent or something.
Yeah,
and
Mark Randall. Yeah.
You said in the book, the agent says you want to meet Gary Coleman, and you're like, fuck yeah, sure, why not? I want to meet anyone who has a career. And Gary Coleman was one of the biggest stars in the world,
Oh, yes.
And you go to the meeting, and he's coming on to you, and he invites you up to his hotel room, his beautiful penthouse hotel room, because he's Gary Coleman, he has a lot of money, and you're not even thinking that he's interested in you sexually.
And I was a virgin, so I wasn't even thinking about that.
Right. So you were.
Oh, so you mean to tell me that even though she is a virgin, she was under a damn rock her entire life and didn't know why men would invite you to their hotel room? Doesn't sound like that you were getting advice from your elders. But hey, let's continue. Like I said, this story gets a little crazy.
We're like, isn't this nice? Gary Coleman wants me to come up to his room. You were completely naive about it, right?
Oh, yeah. He held my hand, and I was like, he's so cute. And he had a suit on, and he told me that I remind.
Now, the he's so cute remark, yeah, they like, and I've heard people how they talked about Gary Coleman in several interviews. It's almost as if people could not stop referring to him as sort of a child or something because he was so short and so childlike. I believe Gary Coleman had this condition called Highlander syndrome, if I'm not mistaken. Highlander syndrome is basically it's like you stop maturing at a certain age, and it stunts your growth. But anyway, so I really would like for people to understand the definition of what that is. And if I'm wrong about that, leave it in the comment section. But let's continue.
He told me I reminded him of Kimberly from Different Strokes, and I was like, yes! Oh my God, if I could only be on Different Strokes,
Speaking of strokes, she did, like, if she had not been so naive, she'd have known that was kind of a player move.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. And Mark came up with us too, and they had the presidential suite. And then we went into the room, and then Mark disappeared.
Oh, they had a whole move. Mark disappears from the room, leaves you alone with Gary Coleman. Oh, that's so dark. It is such a dark story.
Yeah.
Howard Stern, Mr. Private Parts himself, a controversial shock job, saying that it's a dark story. Sounded like this Mark was kind of a wingman for Gary. So.
And you're sitting there on the bed with him, right? And
I think he was like, sit down. Like, it was very sweet. Like, so, and then he's like, could you like tickling me a little and this and that? And I was like, stop. Like I was trying to be polite and stuff. I'm a polite Catholic girl and a virgin. So I'm not even thinking about, I'm naive.
Polite Catholic girl, virgin. I don't know. Maybe she had experience with a finger or two or something. But let me also state that she's trying to promote her book. Let me see the name. Let me see the name of this book. I'm gonna put the link to the article after this broadcast in the description. The book is called "Hello Molly: A Memoir," and if if I believe that it is as interesting as her career was, I probably won't be copping a copy of that. So, but people, they'll tell crazy stories just to sell books, and what she needs is all the press she can get. So,
about anything about that.
But Gary Coleman started to get really aggressive with you, and you say he grabbed your ankles and started holding onto your ankles, and then was bouncing on the bed trying to land on top of you.
Yes.
And I can't even imagine that story. I mean,
that's relentless. I was like, then he was like trying to kiss me and get on top of me. I was like, no, Gary, stop. So I push him off. Then I would get off the bed. Then he would bounce on the bed, jump, and wrap himself around me. Then I would like fling him off. And then he would
fling him off.
Yeah. And then he got on top of me and was like, trying to, I was like, Gary, stop. But I guess because of his size, I didn't feel physically threatened. But then, I finally would get, it was going on and on, repeating. I would throw him off. He would get back on, throw him off, and his dialysis machine was in the room. And then finally, I throw him off. I was like, then I'm really getting out of breath because it was like athletic and.
Now, remember the part where I said that this sounded like a Saturday Night Live skit? Yeah, it sounds like something that's straight out of a comedy. If anybody is watching comedy films, and then like the way that he's being referred to is very childlike. Like it was some kind of, maybe he's running to in him being a celebrity. Maybe he's running to plenty of women that look at him like he's a kid and they kind of fetishized him. But that's another dark little narrative right there. But let's continue.
Aerobic. It was really...
And he was what, about 4 feet tall, and he probably weighed what, 50 pounds, 60, I don't know, 75 pounds. So I mean, you're throwing around 75 pounds. It's it's hard. I mean, it's difficult.
So then I finally get him off, and then I go to the bathroom, and then he grabs onto my leg, and I was like, I like kicked him off like that.
Now, when I leave this link in the chat, you check this out for yourself. I want you to look at her body language. Like I said, it seems like it's totally scripted. Now, I'm not saying it did not happen, but I mean, like they're being kind of overly silly about this. I mean, Gary Coleman has been dead for over a decade, so I guess you can't help but to kind of laugh at things like this. But, being sexually assaulted, I just view it as a very serious matter, especially the way we frame things in 2022. So.
And then I'd go lock myself in the bathroom like this. And then he sticks his hands under the door and he's like, I can see you.
So I love the
like a damn cat or something, sticking his hand up under the bathroom door. Like, listen up, guys. Listen up. This is, and look, let me put this disclaimer out here again. Sexual assault is not funny. Sexual harassment is not funny. And there are people that have actually been through this and have been traumatized by such. So, but it's just, it's kind of hard for me not to believe that this woman is just trying to sell books. Basically, it is. I mean, it is what it is, and like in order for her to sell these books, she's gonna have to kind of uh, say like some of the craziest stuff that's in her book, whether it's true or not. And for a guy like Gary Coleman, like I would say this, Gary Coleman had a tough life. Even though he was famous, even though he was in a hit TV series, what you talking about, Willis? I mean, this guy's going through it all. Like with people, like especially his adoptive parents who like when he was doing the show, they took control of his money, so basically, he did not have any. So the whole Howard Stern thing is, oh, Gary Coleman, he's rich and all this other stuff. He didn't even have control of his money. And then, dying the way he did, that was pretty messed up. But look, the moral to the story is like if you do some dirt, and I mean, I'm leaning, and I gotta say this, even though this it's crazy enough to not, the story itself was crazy enough not to be false. I'm probably, well, to be false, excuse me. I'm probably leaning more toward that this might actually be true. And the reason why I'm saying this is I don't believe that Gary Coleman was ever treated like a normal person. Is almost impossible for me to not believe that this actually happened. I mean, dude was shooting his shot any way he can, and is Hollywood people, they go under a different set of rules, and whether you want to believe it or not doesn't make it any more okay. But if you ever listen to Cat Williams tell you about uh, what goes on in like the Hollywood house parties, this one right here still ain't it, this one right here isn't that far fetched. But whether it happened or not, I don't believe, like, just basically on the star power of Molly Shannon herself, this ain't gonna sell any more books than what it already done. I mean, it's like who in reality, besides a few people and myself who used to watch Saturday Night Live quite often back in the day, is going to remember Molly Shannon. Like shoot, I like I said, you might get a few feminists buying the book, but outside of that, is what is even the use? What is even the use? And for black men in Hollywood, like it just seems like no matter what, black men in Hollywood are never going to leave Hollywood clean, with reputations intact. They probably trying to figure out a way to get Denzel. And a few years back, I used to tell people they trying to find a way to get Will Smith. You see everything that's happened with that. So, RIP to Gary Coleman, Molly Shannon, whatever. But thanks for tuning in, guys. This is BMBBH. Uh, you know, just let me know what you think in the comment section. And till next time.